For group two, we will start first with an introduction of the Hilti's business. So Hilti was founded in 1941 by Martin and Eugene Hilti, two brothers from Liechtenstein, having just 5 employees at that time. So over the years, the company has grown and it has now over 25,000 employees worldwide with branches all over the world. Yeah. So Hilti is actually active in several business segments. So one of which is the field of power tools. Yeah, so Healthy specializes in power tools for the construction industry. So they invent, develop, and design very specific tools for construction sites for heavy duty tasks. So Healthy generated an annual sales of 5.3 billion Swiss francs, which were 99.6% below the level of the previous year. So despite the pandemic situation, so the sales of the company are still doing good. But this company suffered revenue losses in 1999 with a revenue drop of 35%. And in order to revive their business, they visited and interviewed customers to determine the problem and then change their business model accordingly. So they established the fleet management system and offer service level agreements with their customers. So they pick up and repair tools. And this fleet management business model was considered as important innovation in Hilti's history. So with this system, they were able to preserve and retain their competitiveness in the market and boost their productivity. So we will have to take a closer look now at Hilti's fleet management system and the patent on the handheld machine tool and amplifier antenna, as well as other IP rights that may be involved. So my colleagues will discuss the system to us, how it works, and the benefits it gives to Healthy's customers. I'll give you now to Aurelie.
So as Regina introduced, Hilti has shift to fleet management organization. It's all business models who has changed, and now we are based more on an operator business model where the philosophy is that all has a service are proposed to the customer. Now customers are totally involved into the processes. So Hilti collaborators are maintaining the customer and we say guiding them through the totally supply chain and giving support through the selling process and taking care that the solution is really tailored to their business. They take in consideration their benefits by increasing their productivity, by keeping a very low cost to relative to a basis on monthly cost, and also by taking care of their staff and how they can be certified in security and safety. And the way the tools are dispatched behind the all processes. So through also Hilti Fleet Management, we have the advantage to get an increase in the customer loyalty. And this locking effect behind is also rely to gathering a personal offer to get this loyalty. We have underlined the challenges to overcome, and we are going to link it to the patent we have analyzed. And Matthew is going to present you the patent, and we'll make the link with the challenges to overcome behind the fleet management. Thank you, Matthew.
Yes, thank you, Aurelie. So the patent we have here, handheld power tool and amplifier antenna. So sorry, I don't have a nice video to explain, but it's quite simple to understand. Here you have the problem of the prior art, as always in patent. So they mention that prior art devices need optical or wired interfaces like USB connection to plug into the device, into the handle for tool. Can lead some contaminations and mechanical damages to the tool if you manipulate the cable, and you can damage the connection. The handling of the tool also is more difficult. You need to handle the cable, you need to maybe open the toolbox and so on. So they propose a nice solution. It's to integrate electronic and connected features into the tool. We have a data memory, data interface accessible via an external device. So we guess it's a smartphone, for example. Also operating data and errors which occur during the operation are stored in the tool's memory. So we gather that information inside the tool. The benefits they mention, data can be read and evaluated during the development, but more important for the customer during the service and also during the maintenance. So you have all data during the life of the tool, which is very interesting. Data exchange connection is both robust and has a long range. So we will see after in the use case analysis why it's important to have a long range connectivity. Data transfer, so it's possible when the tool is in its case. So it's to solve the problem here of the handling of the tool. You don't need to open the toolbox. It's very clever. The tool in its case can be bought near a terminal, so also maybe a smartphone to exchange data easily. So what is claimed very quickly, and you can see also with the figure, it's of course an amplifier antenna in blue here, which is different from the system antenna. It's not the same antenna. They are so very close. The amplifier antenna is magnetically coupled to the system antenna. You have the data interface also here, tuned with the RFID UHF, so ultra high frequency range, and also they claim a self-adhesive label. We will see after also this adhesive label, which is very simple to use to allow connectivity with an external device. So now we will explain the use case.
Okay, so now combining everything together to conclude to a use case, we can see that our pattern is like, yeah, let's say a technical or technological realization and of our use case, namely the connected tools. And we can thereby address actually all the challenges we have in our fleet management, as we can see on the right-hand side, that we can communicate all the tracking and tool status data, for example, information about the operation of the tool in order to prevent the misuse of the customer. We can then communicate the data about the condition of the tool to predict maintenance or to prevent damages. We can then communicate data of the use time, for example, to determine the chargeable use, and also the ubication in order that the customer can find easily their tools to improve efficiency. Yeah, we can see it already. Hilti already realized their especially products on that, like we can see it on OnTrack or Hilti Connect. And yeah, and here we was seeing the link with the patents that based on a long range antenna and the RFID self adhesive label, we can create communication with the tool, with the tools and everything around. Okay, on the next slide, we was then defining also some other patents that are related to our use case connected tools. And yeah, that are only some examples. As we already was seeing, Hilti have a really big portfolio of really nice and bright patterns. And first one we was finding also was the improvement of the communication method by a method for setting up a communication between a tool and the auxiliary device. And the important thing here is that we could erase the pairing memory inside of the tool. Another way also to connect then to transmit data was not based on the tool, but better say based on the container, that the tool is connecting with the container or the box where the tools are stored, and that then the box is sending information to about the condition of the tool or whatever. Yeah.
Two other patents we find. This one is more about data transmission. So you have the Handel Power Tool again with sensors, antenna, and control unit. So you have also an antenna here. It's more about wireless transmission, GSM. So we assume it's also linked to smartphones, maybe. The transmission of data with a remote device, smartphone. They mention also ambient temperature localization as important data to gather. Maybe ambient temperature is linked to the way the tool is used or is stored, to understand what the tool yes, live in a sense in its lifetime. Localization, so with the GPS module, I think also here inside the smartphone, but to be able to localize the tool. So it's more about data transmission, this patent. Here is that distance control. So also we use electronic features inside the tool. So here it's to control the auxiliary device, the tool with an auxiliary device. So for example, to switch the tool on or off. So I guess it's not related to Handel Power Tool, because if you need the tool in your hand, but maybe there are other kind of tool in Hilti, so you can switch on or off at distance. So it's very also interesting to see how they use electronic feature. Now we'll let my colleague explain this other applicable protection possible.
Thank you. So in addition to the patent protection, we have considered other IP instruments that would be applicable to our use case. So first of all, we have found out a number of design rights applicable to Hilti. These are the design rights for the particular tools, as for example, the handheld machine itself, for the scanners, and even for the toolboxes. We would also consider the design rights for the human design interface, which are related to the Hilti applications, and even probably to their website, the appearance, the particular system for designing such features as showing a status of the equipment, a list of equipment which is being shipped for repair, for example, for replacement, etc. We would also consider design rights for the icons. Here we have the examples of Hilti Connect and Hilti On Track application. Hilti On Track helps to manage your assets, services, workers, and devices. And Hilti Connect is the application for tool training, for troubleshooting, and also to ordering power tool repairs. So in addition to this, we have also considered trademark. First of all, Hilti On Track service is registered as a trademark, and we would also consider Hilti Connect registration. So these are the services that are probably most relevant to our use case. Also, we should mention the Hilti trademark overall, and the very distinguished Hilti red color, which is used for all tools, all toolboxes of Hilti, which plays really big role for attract attention at the construction site, for example. It is also used for all services provided by Hilti as applications for the website, and even as we see on this picture for the delivery services for the delivery car. So it helps to identify the company and the services it provides. So we think it plays a big role for the reputation of the company, and of course it protects the trademark. In addition to this, the trademark would be a complementary IP rights to the patent protection, which elapses in some time. So by having the strong brand, the company will be able to communicate the high prices and differentiation with the customers. And yeah, now Aurelie will consider other types of IP rights.
Matt, thank you. So if we consider other rights, maybe that related to our antenna, we have the application we mentioned, On Track and Hilti Connect, that have behind software codes, and we should provide by copyright all the material contained on Hilti apps and the training process, because as you understood, the customer are trained through all the journey by the Hilti collaborators are also protected by copyright. So the function here is to avoid imitation from competitors or newcomers in such a use of technology, and thanks to that to get a sustainable profit on what is actually working for the clients. We have thought about the trade secret because it's almost a know-how from Hilti to implement such a technology. So we have example of business information, advertising plans, and negative know-how behind the trade secret protection to get a competitive advantage over the competitors. And if we go further, we can imagine that Hilti has the particularity to be situated in Liechtenstein, and Liechtenstein is a specific place where we have quality behind. So made in Liechtenstein could be a geographic indication who guarantee the quality of the product, and who will be printed in the mindset of the customer has a quality product. Thank you.
So starting from the connected tools that allow the better management of the equipment, we mentioned before, to localize them, to be able to transfer the status of the battery on the maintenance cycle. We have been considering how could we expand the use case, deliver further value to customers, and we think that safety is a very important value for customers, and more specifically, we see two applications on safety. First, the personal application, and then also cybersecurity, giving trust to customers that all these data are handled in a good way. And when it comes to the customer value, what we think is that as soon as we are able to transfer data, to transfer so the position of the tool, as Mathieu said before with the patent, important is that in case maybe a technician would hurt himself, he might, maybe push a button, and immediately this would transfer an alert somehow to a, 27 safety center where people could dispatch needed, a rescue team. Also on the cybersecurity, being able, to transfer data in a encrypted way would also be important. And we think that this could be covered by the antenna patent we have, but also we might want also to use one of the patents mentioned by Mathieu, which would be the GSM 4G Wi-Fi, because it could, even though these antennas have a long range, you know, you want to make sure if you speak about safety of personnel, that you are able at any location, even though the antenna is not close enough, that you are able to transmit the data. We could also protect this by some trademark. We were thinking something like Hilti Safe for the personal safety or Hilti Crypt for the cybersecurity. And obviously, I mean, copyright on the code, on the marketing material, on some trade secret could also be considered there. Then we have been thinking about another possibility also to expand the use case in a different direction, which is more, you know, the preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance. If you could just change the slide, maybe Mathieu. And what we said is that as soon as we are able to communicate data, we could certainly get even more value from this data. Certainly in each and every equipment nowadays with the sensors we have algorithm to be able to assess the condition and towards preventive maintenance, but transmitting data on a cloud would also allow to have to improve the algorithm using, I would say, community data. So Hilti could use, you know, peer tools, people that use their tool in similar manners to be able to better predict and then, you know, even further improve detectability, enhance the the productivity and reduce the downtime. So this could be protected also by patents, certainly with some artificial intelligence, possible trademark, like, you know, Hilti Optim would be the local, I would say, analytics, while this Optim Plus would be using peer data. We could also use, certainly there would be need to use copyrights and trademark.